In this section, we're going to talk about money management and risk management. But to do that, I want to explain a very important concept, which is expectancy. And I want to talk about this because it has to affect your mindset on how you are going to be trading. When you really understand how expectancy works, then you understand the game, you understand that it's a probability game, and you play accordingly. So what is the definition of expectancy? Expectancy is going to be the expected value, is an anticipated value for a given investment. In statistics and probability analysis, the expected value is calculated by multiplying each of the possible outcomes by the likelihood that each outcome will occur, and then summing all of these values together. So this is the function for expected value, which is going to be, x is going to be each value, and p is going to be the probability that each of this value occurs. And then from I equal 1 to infinity, or to n, to the number that you have, then you're going to keep doing that and summing all of these values together, okay? So for example, if you were playing heads and tails with a friend, right? And you're betting $1 each. If you get heads, you get $1. If you flip the coin and we have tails, you lose $1. Actually, you lose $1, okay? So would you play this game or not? Would you play a game where you have 50% chance to make $1 and 50% chance to lose $1? Not really, right? Because what's the advantage here? You have no advantage, right? Because if I calculate the expectancy of this game, the expectancy would be equal to 50% chance, 0.5, times $1, then plus, you gotta add all the probabilities plus the value for that probability, then 50% times minus 1, which here is gonna give you 50 cents minus 50 cents, which gives you 0. So it's a zero expectancy game. Nobody has an edge. Nobody can win. But if I came and I said, you know what? I have this, this coin, this magic coin that is going to fall on heads 60% of the time. And it's going to fall on tails 40% of the time. Then would you want to play this new game? Do you want to play head and tails now with this coin? Well, let's calculate what is the expectancy here. The expectancy is you're going to have 60% chance, so 0.6, times $1. So the probability times the value plus, each probability. So if we're playing dice, we would have to sum up the dice if it rolls on 1, 2, all the way up to 6. So depending how many values can happen, you would have to sum them all up. So in this situation, there's just two options, heads or tails, and 40% chance of losing $1. So if I do the expectancy of this, that gives me 60 cents plus, or then the minus comes out here, minus 40 cents. So the expectancy is $0.2. So when you're playing this game, okay, you have a positive expectancy. So this means you should play this game. Why? Because if you keep repeating this game, yes, sometimes you're gonna lose $1, but most of the time, 60% of the times, you're gonna win $1. So if you play, let's say, 10 times, well, most probably you're gonna lose 4 times, so you're gonna lose $4, and you're gonna win 6 times, so you're gonna win $6. So in the end, you would make how much money? Well, 6 minus 4, $2, which is 0.2 times 10, because you played this game 10 times. And if you play this game, I don't know, 100 times, you're probably going to be walking away with $20. 1,000 times, $200. So the idea when you're playing any games of chance is to play games of chance that have a positive expectancy. Now, when you go to the casino, is there any games that have a high or a positive expectancy for you? No. All the games in the casino are developed in a way that for the casino, they have a positive expectancy, right? And for the player, for you, you have a negative expectancy, right? Smaller than a negative expectancy, right? Smaller than 0. Now, it doesn't mean you can't win, one day or one time or a few times. It just means that the odds of winning in the long term are not good, So the longer you play in the casino, the more chance you have of losing. So, you shouldn't even play in the casino. So when I go to the casino, I never play because I just know the odds are not in my favor. Now, the casino, how much odds do they have? Do you think they have? Do you think that they have very huge odds that they're winning like 70% of the time or 80% of the time? No. The games that they have are winning about, 52% of the time they're winning, and they're losing 48% of the time. Right? And because of this, they're able to make billions and billions of dollars. Right? Because, if you play 100 times, you'll win 48 times, but they'll win 52. And this 48 times that they're gonna win are gonna cancel the 48 times that you're gonna win, and then there's 4 times that they won where you didn't win, and that makes their profit, right? So they have a bunch of different tables, and each table there's people playing, and sometimes 48% of the time people are gonna win, but 52% of the time they're losing, and the casino's making that extra money, and they keep repeating that on multiple tables, 24/7, every day of the week, and it just adds up a lot. Now, why do you need to understand this? You need to understand this because when you're trading, you have to understand that there is no such thing as a strategy that wins 100% of the time. I haven't seen a strategy that wins 90% of the time or 80% of the time. It just doesn't exist. So whenever you're seeing people online saying this strategy wins 90% of the time, 0% chance. That does not exist. And you don't even need this high of a probability because just again, look at the casino. They're winning 52% of the time. So what are actual, percentages that you can expect to be profitable at? From what I've seen, very good traders are able to win 65% of the time. That's good traders, okay? And so then they're losing 35% of the time. Now you have to understand that this is a great winning strategy. If you have a strategy that makes you this type of, return or this type of win probability, which we're going to talk about that later. It's called I have a blank here. Your batting average, which we're going to cover in another lecture. But if you have something like this that gives you this high of a batting average, then you should definitely trade it. So the problem with people is what? Is that when they lose, even if they're losing one trade, they're like, oh, well, I did something wrong. I shouldn't lose. No, you should lose. It's part of your strategy. You should lose 35% of the time. And again, traders will always not be successful because of this. This is the biggest thing. Because, maybe they're winning on a few trades, then a few trades in a row, they lose, which is very likely. You can lose 3 trades in a row, 4 trades in a row in a strategy like this, and it's okay. It's part of the strategy. You don't see the casino coming on a table and saying, hey, stop this table because we lost 3 hands in a row or 10 hands in a row. No, they understand that it's part of their strategy. It's part of this game. But traders, what they're going to do is when they have a few losing trades in a row, then all of a sudden they don't want to take their loss. They're losing on a trade and they're like, you know what? Now all of a sudden I'm losing on this trade, but I don't want to take my loss. I want to leave it more because I can't take a loss. I don't want to lose. And for them, it's if they're taking a loss, then they're losers or the strategy is a losing strategy and they don't take that loss. And what ends up happening is those small losses that they could have taken become way bigger and they end up losing all their accounts. So, the traders who I have seen that were the most profitable, they are really okay with taking losses. That's what makes a great trader. A great trader is somebody who's able to take losses. You got to think about it this way. Imagine you just took wins. That's too easy, right? Why should you be compensated for doing something that's that easy? I can get a hobo off the streets and put him in a seat and tell him, hey, you know what? Every time you're making money, take the profits. That's easy. That's an easy thing to do. Anybody can do that. Why should you be compensated for something that's easy that anybody can do? Right, you shouldn't. You should be compensated for doing the things that are hard. And what's the hard thing to do in trading is taking losses. So you gotta be really good at taking losses. If you're able to convince yourself that taking losses is great and it's the best thing. So when you're trading, whenever something reaches your loss point, you are happy to take it. You go and you take it quickly, fast, without thinking about it, and you just move on to the next trade. And if you're able to do that genuinely, then what's going to happen is your risk management and how much you lose is going to be very, very tight, and it's going to be very good. And because of that, you're going to be able to win and make money. Because remember, nobody doesn't succeed because because their money when they take their profit is not good. They lose money because their risk management is not good, because they're not able to take their losses, because they lose too much. So if you're able to be good at this, then you're gonna fix that issue for yourself, and the profits and the formula is gonna work. But if you don't, go with this formula, if you don't take the losses that you're supposed to take when you're supposed to take them, then in the end they're gonna be way bigger, and the strategy isn't gonna work. So just keep in mind that good strategies it's just like a function where you have to win more often than you lose, and that's it. You're not going to win all the time. You are going to lose a bunch of times, and you're going to have to take these losses. And if you do that correctly, and if you have this mindset that losses are good because they are part of the game and they are part of your function, then you might have a strategy like the casino has strategies. They have tables that you can just run over and over and over, and during the long run, they are going to generate you money. And if you want to have multiple strategies in the same way that the casino has multiple tables that are running simultaneously, then you could do that as well. So yeah, I think this is one of the most important lectures for the mindset you need to have about trading. And that's Mindset and Expectancy. And I'll see you guys in the next lecture.